So, as most of you know, I started dating a guy named Elliot back last year after 4th of July. You know, I made videos about it. I've made videos with him. My bad, my hair's a little fucked right now. I just got in the shower. But I made videos with him all the way up until recently. That's whenever I stopped and all those videos were removed. That's because right after our 11-month anniversary and right before my birthday, we got into a big fight and we broke up. This video will be me explaining how our relationship went, how he abused me, and shit like that. So, sorry. I look like shit right now. So, whenever this type of shit, like, as most of you know, he cheated on me back in August of last year. Made a few videos about that. I think they're deleted now. I don't know. But it was a one-time thing, and I don't think he cheated on me after that. But there was another incident where it was in, like, the beginning of May. I found messages between him and this one girl, which he knew I hated, but he still stayed best friends with her, where he would talk shit on me, call me a bitch, and all this shit, and basically talk shit on me to this one girl who hated my guts already. I did make a community post about that, but I think I removed it after me and her talked. But, that girl's from my old school that he goes to. So after I found those messages is whenever shit started going downhill. We got in a lot more fights, a lot more bigger fights. And I stopped looking at the relationship through my rose-colored glasses and saw him for the man he actually was. At the beginning of the relationship, at the beginning of the relationship, he would say shit like, well, I don't know if ours will last that long since I always end up ruining them somewhere or the other. And I was like, no, you're like a really nice guy. He is not. He's a manipulative asshole who deserves nothing but the most disrespect from me. There was one point in one of our fights, quite frequently, like recently and shit, where he said, I act just like my mother. During that time, my mother was very, like, mentally abusive. Me and her, our relationship has gotten better since then, ever since me and him broke up, actually. This is a lot. But, and, shit like that. And it got to the point where my non-biological cousin, my good cousin, guys, my good cousin, the one I actually consider my cousin, she went off on him. Because I'm like a little sister to her, because we're not biologically cousins, but we consider ourselves cousins, because our parents are like sisters. And she went off on him, and he acknowledged that that was a shitty thing for him to do. And I had like this all thought up as I was doing my makeup, so now I kind of forgot like all this shit I was gonna say. And there was countless other times where he would completely just blatantly manipulate me, and a lot of people saw it, even my parents. I might put them in the video, I don't know if I am, but I have a full-on voice recording from when him, me, and my dad, and my mom all had a conversation together, like a week before we broke up, about the way he treated me, and they saw it. They saw how shitty that man treated me.
Really do not appreciate your grandma saying what she did to her.
I got mad when I found that out because I knew that it upset her. Because I'm serious though. But
I mean, she straight up blamed the fact that you tried to kill yourself and it was her fault. No, bullshit.
You agreed with your grandma.
I did not agree with
I
your
have
grandma.
text message proof that you agreed with her. Don't even.
Well, it was because we're fighting, but you took it as a way that she was blaming on you.
And then you literally, I was like,
still,
so your grandma was right? And you said
it's
yes.
the same fucking thing.
I have seen where you have said that it was Allie's fault. I have seen where you have told other people that the last time was Allie's fault. That's not acceptable. It's not acceptable from you, but that's easier overlooked than a grown adult coming at a 16-year-old girl and blaming your problems on her. Allie's not innocent. I straight up told her today, did I not? If she tells me something in an argument, she tells me both sides. And I will tell her, You were in the wrong there. You don't need to be getting on him about that. However, 100% I will tell her when you're in the wrong. And this is not, I don't understand why your parents are so mad at me. I don't understand why your parents are mad at me for a suicide attempt. That's not why we're mad at you.
You're mad at me because I've treated her.
We're mad at you for 11 months of the same shit over and over again that we have not stepped into. Situations that were too physical for my comfort.
Yeah.
That need to never happen again.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
We were one night and they got in a fight about her being friends with another guy, and he had his arm around her, and she tried to get away, and he kept pulling her back. Even that's not okay.
Yeah.
I understand.
Any kind of physical restraint.
He's not, yeah.
Yeah.
There was countless amount of times they're like, you cannot stay with him anymore, Allie. That is ruining you. And the relationship did, in fact, ruin me. There was a time, it wasn't completely his fault, but it was kind of his fault. I was in that mental state in the first place. Trigger warning, by the way, sewerslide. But I tried taking a shit ton of Benadryl. And I do kind of have to thank him-ish for that night, because if it wasn't for him calling me that night, I would not have woken up, because I woke up to his phone call, and me staying awake helped the shit get through my system a little bit more. If he wouldn't have called me, I would have been dead. I'm still here, guys. And then, like I said, these fights just continued fucking happening with him manipulating me and abusing me. Not physically. There was this one point where I thought he was going, like there's been multiple times where I thought he was going to hit me, but he never did, okay? I don't think he's the physically abusive guy, but I feel like if our relationship continued, he would have gotten to that point where he would have started hitting me and shit. Because my mom, her ex-husband, she went through the same, like, her ex-husband, before her ex-husband got physical with her, he was acting the same way as my ex-boyfriend was. They were married for like 2 weeks. Luckily, he's not my dad. But my dad now is not the best either. But there was a point where Elliot's grandfather had passed, and I realized that's also when Elliot started declining, but he was taking it out on me. And there was multiple times I told him he cannot do that to me. And then he spiraled from then. I loved his grandpa with like my entire heart, and I still feel bad for him because his grandpa died, and no one should have to go through that, and no one should have that put against them. But I do think if his grandfather were still here, his grandfather would not let the shit that he pulled with me slide. I was literally like a granddaughter to him. Elliot was my first real relationship, I guess, or like the first one that I felt was real. There's just one time where we fought, and he proceeded to call me a manipulative bitch and shit like this. And I was like, you were literally self-projecting on me, because I'm not the one who cheated 8 months ago. I'm not the one who talked shit on me to my girl best friend. I'm not the one who did all this shit. And also, in their messages, she told him I love you multiple times. Luckily, I don't think he really said anything back. I think he did send like the hand heart emoji that's like this, that I use a lot. I love that emoji. And shit like that. So, like so we broke up right before my sweet 16, which was June 21st. Why did I forget my birthday? And before I continue talking about me and his relationship, I'm going to talk about my birthday and what the fuck happened after that. So June 21st, mind you, I'm in this complete mental state. I'm going through the worst fucking mental battle of my goddamn life, and I am still here. I am still fucking here, surprisingly. Not without a scratch, though. But, so, at that birthday party, one of my cousins, which I'm respecting her enough to not give her name out. Girlie, I'm respecting you that much. I shouldn't be, because of how much you fucked me over. But I am. So, I noticed she was kind of, like, she wouldn't really talk to me much during my birthday. She's like 6 months older than me. She wouldn't really talk to me, no, almost a year. On her birthday's in November, so I don't fucking know, bitch. I think. I don't. But, yeah. So she was at my birthday. Her little sister was there too. Her little sister's around my sister's age, 12-ish. And I had a few friends. I was supposed to have 3 to 4 friends staying the night. And in the end, 2 canceled. They didn't even come to my fucking birthday. 2 didn't even come to my birthday, and 1 had to go home. So I only had 1 staying the night, which was my friend Jalen. And mind you, by then I was really super fucking emotional because my entire birthday was stressing me out with all this shit with my ex-boyfriend piled on fucking top of it. And just like everything at my party was just so much, like, it was fucking stressing me out. I felt like I was doing so much fucking wrong. And then I found out my little sister took it upon herself to have my little cousin stay the night. So my older cousin wanted to stay the night too. I love my cousins. Okay, not really my older one, not much more, but I love my cousins. And I would have said yes if I wasn't so fucking stressed out and in such a bad mental state. At that point, I didn't even know if I wanted my friend to stay the night. I just wanted the night to myself. But I knew if I was left alone that night with all the shit that was put on me, the bad things would have happened. So I needed at least one person to stay the night, and I didn't want the stress of two people staying the night. And I tried to explain that to her. But she didn't even come to say goodbye to me when she left. After that, my mom had talked to me, and she's like, well, she just broke up with her boyfriend, like, right before your party. And I'm like, oh shit, now I feel like really fucking bad. So I texted her a few days later apologizing and explaining to her how Elliot did me so fucking wrong, and explained to her all the shit that Elliot did to me. A week later, I get a text from her along the lines of, hey, I need to tell you something. I'm like, what? She's like, me and Elliot are talking. And I'm like, what the fuck do you mean by that? She's like, we're dating. So not even a week after me and him broke up, and right after my fucking birthday, she got with my boyfriend, ex-boyfriend. My manipulative, abusive, cheating, mind you, and also super funny fucking thing. The day I found out he was cheating, I was off to visit my cousins. We were eating dinner, and I got the text. They weren't there yet, but like whenever I came back from the bathroom is whenever they were there. So that same exact fucking cousin sat in that booth with me and held me as I cried into her arms because that same exact man that she is dating now cheated on me. She also told me how ugly she thought he was, and how much of a piece of shit he is for cheating on me, and that I don't deserve him. 10 months later, they're dating. 10, 11 months. And now, he has manipulated her and everybody else that I haven't talked to yet, that I was the one who manipulated him, and I was the one who treated him like a piece of shit. And I was the one who used him for money. Granted, he did make more money than me at the time because I used my money to buy myself shit. And I went to Universal, like Florida, Universal and Disney. You know how much fucking money I spent on him there? A fucking lot. You know how expensive souvenirs are in Florida? They're fucking expensive, man. But I gave that man my entire fucking soul and body. He was the first man I let touch me in, okay, I'm 16, I'm saying this shit. He's the first man I let fuck me after I got sexually assaulted back in 2021. But I'm such a bad person. Whenever he made me, I never told him this, so I can't really blame him for this. But he still pressured sex on me a lot. My ex, like Elliot, he would pressure sex on me a lot. And I felt like I had to, or I'd make him upset. But mind you, I never told him that. So I don't really use that against him. Because he never knew that I felt pressured. I mean, there's a few times that I told him. But never really. Like, I'd be at his house and we'd be watching, like, Queso or some shit. And he would be making advances on me. Granted, half the time I was okay with it. But there were some times that I really didn't want to. But like I said, I didn't tell him that because I didn't want to make either of us uncomfortable, and he was my boyfriend at the time, so I thought I should just let him. But now his little sister that used to love me, his little sister and my cousin, which, by the way, you aren't my cousin anymore. I don't consider you or your father / my uncle family. Both of you can go rot in hell. Because you decide to believe a man you barely fucking knew over your own blood that you have known your entire damn life. And that shit is pathetic. All he's gonna do is he's gonna fucking cheat on you because he can't fucking see her. They live hours away. She lives hours away from me. They're not gonna fucking see each other. And whenever he didn't see me for a month, he stuck his pathetic 5-incher into 6, I don't fucking know. He stuck his pathetic little dick into another girl. I'm sorry, this talk is very graphic. I have a lot of emotions right now and I'm trying not to cry. But yeah, she commented on my recent video, by the way. That's also what started all of this, was her and his sister commenting on my video, calling me a bad person. Fans. But she was telling me that I, again, used him for money, and he was going through a lot of shit, and that I just didn't care about. I knew he was going through shit. Wanna know something he fucking did which triggered me wanting to break up with him in the first place, like a few weeks before we broke up, is we got into a little fight, per fucking usual, just because he was spamming my goddamn phone. Because I was on a trip with my program I'm in. He was spamming my phone. Like, take a chill pill, bitch. And so that's what started the fight. The fight wasn't even that big. We've had bigger fights. Next thing you know, I get back to my dorm. Life 360 says he left his house. And his note on Instagram is, oh, make the sky pretty for you. I text him like, Elliot, what the fuck's going on? I check his Life 360. He's at the local hospital in our hometown. So he doesn't fucking answer me. Because he tried to kill himself. Now listen, as a suicidal person myself, which has gotten worse recently, but as a suicidal person myself, I do understand the feeling of wanting to do that after a fight. But want to know what he did? Took 20 to 30 ibuprofen. The fuck is that gonna do to you? And he knew that, because there was one time where I tried to OD and I was going to use that, and he's like, babe, that can't do anything to you. And I looked it up and it can't. So he knows it can't. And he apparently cut himself. He came to my house a few days after he got released from the mental hospital because of that. There was barely anything on him, because his grandma told me that he did cut his wrists. There was barely anything on his wrists. Now listen, it's still self-harm, and I still was worried out my goddamn mind. And I was still like, that night that I fucking found out, I didn't sleep the entire fucking time. I had to have one of my RAs come into my room to make sure I didn't do anything stupid. I was on my floor, sobbing, calling my mom because I thought my boyfriend had killed himself. And the only way I knew he was alive was by texting his grandmother, who told me it was all my fault, basically calling me a piece of shit. And apparently I also found out that his grandma talked shit on me behind my back. He lives with his grandma, by the way. So after he got out, because what happened was he literally just went to the hospital for the night, then immediately got transferred to the closest mental hospital. So I knew he wasn't physically hurt. Not that much, at least. And I'm not usually the type of person that would say, oh, you're trying to kill yourself for attention. He was literally just trying to guilt trip me to make me feel bad for upsetting him before. He has done this shit before. There was a time where I made him upset and he cut himself and showed me the cuts. Tell me that it's not trying to make me feel bad. The only time he ever saw my cuts was whenever we were hanging out and he would inconveniently see them. I wouldn't go off to purposely be like, yo, here's my wrist. Wanna see? Maybe I've just accidentally like scar flashed you guys, oopsies. But I wouldn't do that shit like he would. So it fucking baffles me that people are believing his manipulative fucking, why are you guys, not you guys, but like people in general, why are you believing him? That's basically all I wanted to talk about. Yay! He's also trying to be a bad boy now. Some of my friends and my mom still can view his like Facebook and Instagram and shit, and he like pierced his ears. I don't know how he fucking pierced his ears though. He's kind of broke right now, and his grandma's a really Christian and didn't want him to pierce his ears in the first place. So I'm thinking his friend may have pierced it with a thumbtack. You guys trying to be like all this big bad boy thing and you get bitches. Sweetheart, you want to talk about your teeth? That shit that cracked right before we broke up, you can barely, like, you look like Bucktooth Toby across the street, bitch. Anyways, should probably stop talking mad shit, because I know he's gonna see this. He still stalks all my shit. He made a new account just to stalk my shit and acting like I didn't see him in my TikTok profile views. But yeah, I will not be giving out my cousin's name because I respect her that much, and I don't think that's okay for me to say. just like in my TikToks I made about her. I'm saying it. I made TikToks about her. I made TikToks about him. I have an entire album of TikToks I made about him. I never said her name. I did say his name, though. Because I will not stand here and not talk about my abuser. I will not sit here and be silenced by that little piece of shit. By that mistake of a man that... that tried to fuck his cat. There's a lot of shit that I could just spread to the fucking world right now. But I'm choosing to not be the complete bad guy in this fucking situation. So that's all I really wanted to say. Yippee. So if you want to come after me again, my cousin or his little sister, just remember everything I said in this video was fucking true. You don't have to believe me. It's your brother and your boyfriend. Boyfriend. Y'all barely fucking know each other. But just know, I will not stand silent and let him win this shit. I will let my, I will win this. I will not stand quiet while I let him act like I'm the bad person. 'Cause I'm not. He is an incel that looks like an inbred. I don't know what I saw in him. But so, yeah.